Sags, thank you very much indeed. Two clubs whose supporters have long since held the other in enmity, but who are united in the same goal, and whose success, broadly speaking, outsiders will judge by the same parameters. That line between 4th and 5th, the dividing line between success and failure, and it's very rare that both of these clubs end up on the right side of it. For a long time, the holy grail of Champions League football was the domain of Arsenal, and frequently a tangible but unreachable step for Tottenham. But the last 2 years have reversed the trend, adds a new dimension to all of their meetings. 12 men tried to lead Tottenham to a higher league finish than Arsene Wenger's Arsenal. The first 11 failed, but Mauricio Pochettino cracked it. The Gunners fans would delight in the significance of a victory today, taking them back above Spurs in the table. And for the first time since April 1996, the derby comes round without Wenger, hoping to mastermind an Arsenal win. Instead, Unai Emery experiences the idiosyncrasies of this particular game for the first time, admitting in his press conference that Spurs are the better of the two teams at the moment, but quietly confident that the principles he's instilling are the foundation for success. His men come into the game unbeaten in 18, a statistic that would make a Tottenham victory all the sweeter for their fans, as they look for a 10th consecutive success in all capital clashes. Today is unlikely to be the most defining moment in either side's quest for a top 4 finish, but its significance in achieving that end product is quite clear. Added spice to one of the fiercest and fieriest rivals in British football. This is the North London derby.
Welcome to the Emirates Stadium.
Will be Arsenal that will get the game underway, kicking from left to right in their traditional red and white, Spurs in white shirts, dark blue shorts and socks. But since Arsenal's relocation to North London in 1913, this has been the match they care about most in this part of the world. A century of history and tradition makes this game what it is, but no meeting is ever more important than the next one. The 183rd North London derby. Mike Dean waits for the signal to get us underway, and it will be Arsenal that will begin proceedings, kicking from left to right in this first 45 minutes. Spurs, 6 wins in a row coming into it. Arsenal unbeaten in 18. New man at the Arsenal helm. Every derby in this part of the world is special, but this one just seems to have that little extra added dimension to it. Certainly, both will be pretty confident that they can turn 1 point that they have now into 3 by the end of the afternoon. Arsenal playing with a back 3 again. Laying the ball back for Socrates, back for Bernd Leno, who's one of 4 North London derby debutants in the Arsenal side today. Spurs have 2. The ball is played forward, and one of them, Aurier, flicks it off down the right-hand side of the midfield for the rejuvenated Sissoko. And now Son will pick up possession on the right-hand side. And the first throw of the game goes Arsenal's way. Just took a little nick off a Spurs player on the way through. And it's a throw which Kolasinac will take. 40 seconds into the North London derby. It's Arsenal 0, Spurs 0 on TalkSport. And here's Ray Howden.
I've got to say, what a cracking atmosphere first and foremost, Jim, isn't it? We don't normally get that at the Emirates Stadium, but certainly you can hear the noise from both sets of supporters. They're coming here with good voice for obvious reasons, because of the form both have shown over the course of the season.
Arsenal with an opportunity to bring the ball forward. Mkhitaryan after a slight mistake by Ben Davies. He's ball inside the penalty area. Aubameyang throwing himself at it, but he didn't really get clean contact, and it's looped away and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, he can't afford to give the ball away in areas like we've just seen there. And Davies coming forward with the ball down this left-hand side, playing it to one of his teammates, cut out by Mkhitaryan. He's delivered into a decent area, and I think Foyt just done enough there to put off Aubameyang.
Now goes out of play for a Spurs throw. What did you see of Arsenal over the last 2 games, but particularly, of course, Bournemouth at the last weekend, that you think they'll be able to exploit? There's a handball by Mkhitaryan stops the latest Arsenal move.
Well, I think even at the early part of this game, Jim, we're a minute and a half into it, a minute 40 seconds, is how much higher they're playing up the field. I think in the previous league games that we've seen them play, they've sat a little bit deeper. It took them a little bit of time to get up to speed with the particular match, but here they're winning the ball back in good areas, pressurising Tottenham, who are making basic mistakes at the moment.
Certainly Arsenal that have had the brightest start. Bellerin, right-hand side of the penalty area. The Arsenal fans as one rise to their feet. The cross is headed away, And it'll be picked up by Dele Alli on the left-hand side, the Spurs midfield. Mkhitaryan slides in, stops him getting too far. And it's out of play for a Tottenham throw. 2.5 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, just looking at Christian Eriksen in the middle of the park, just saying to his teammates, let's just calm down a little bit. I'm not sure they were expected Arsenal to come out the blocks in the manner that they have to really pressurise them, win the ball back in good areas, and that's 2 crosses they've got in down this right-hand side, and that's because of the shape of Tottenham. If you look where Dele Alli is, he started off on the left, he's going into a more central position. There's so much room for Bellerin playing in the right wing-back position for Arsenal over on this side, and he's going to be 1v1 against Ben Davies, and I think he's got the pace to get beyond him.
It is a 4-3-1-2 formation, really, that Spurs are utilising, and Arsenal will bring forward again down the left-hand side of the area. It's a poor ball from that left-hand side from Kolasinac. It split the gap between Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang inside the area, and it was swept away. Certainly, it's Arsenal that have started with the greater purpose here, as they look for a 3rd straight win in all competitions, but they're first on home territory in their last 4 games. Next attack comes to nothing. Aubameyang's flagged offside. Free kick to Spurs, 0-0.
Well, at the moment, Spurs have just got to try and get a feel of the ball. It's been such a rousing start. You can hear it in the stadium. It's the Arsenal fans that are in good voice at the moment, because they'll be very pleased with how their team have started this game. Certainly different to what we've seen in previous matches, Jim, where they've been a little bit reluctant to push men forward, but on this occasion they're getting down both flanks with the wing backs, Bellerin down the right, Kolasinac down the left. It's just that final ball hasn't been quite there for them.
Socrates at the heart of the 3-man Arsenal back line, forced to backpedal and get the ball away. Mustafi helps it further forward. Bellerin mops up, gets there ahead of Eriksen, and lays it back to his goalkeeper. And it's cleared by Bent Leno. High ball forward. Foyt heads it away. Torreira picking it up in the midfield, goes square to his left-hand side. Massive vote of confidence from Pochettino today to pick Foyt ahead of Alderweireld to be Jan Vertonghen's partner at the heart of the back line. Showing good faith in a man that is still only playing the 20th senior game of his career today, Juan Foyt. Ali then tackled over on the far side. It was a combative challenge, a typical Lucas Torreira challenge. Caught his man, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Spurs. Remember, Arsenal back above Tottenham on goal difference if they beat them today. Chelsea's 2-0 win means it's City top with 38, Liverpool with the game in hand 33. Chelsea, after that victory, 31, then Spurs 30, and Arsenal 27. Torreira back inside his own half, finds Socrates to his left-hand side for Rob Holding, and then out to the left-hand touchline for Kolasinac again. Barnett leading Stockport by a goal to 0 in the FA Cup. Dan Sparks getting the goal. We'll keep you up to date with all of the goals as they go in over the course of the afternoon. Socrates on the left-hand side of the back 3 for Arsenal. Just brings it forward towards the edge of the centre circle. Rolls it into the feet of Torreira. Now back out towards Rob Holding again on the left. Holding once more to Socrates. No real pressure being applied by the Spurs players until the ball went back to Holding a 3rd time, and then Son head after him to try and put him under pressure. It's the only invitation Holding needed. He sends a long aerial ball out towards Bellerin on the Arsenal right, trying to change the line of attack. As he plays it in, Vertonghen can mop up, and then the bearded Dyer will bring it away. He's found Ben Davies, the Welsh international. Back from him to Vertonghen, and Vertonghen again back to his goalkeeper Hugo Lloris.
I've got to say, Jim, I think the tactics from Arsenal are absolutely spot on. Now, if you ever watch Tottenham where they've struggled, and particularly teams like Man City, Liverpool, is when they press them, because Tottenham are going to try and play out. They're not just going to hit aimless balls downfield. They're going to try and play through from the defence into midfield and up to the attackers, and Arsenal are pressed them really high up the pitch, and Tottenham at the moment, you can just a little bit on their back foot at the moment.
Kolasinac will make his way forward. It's another excellent sliding challenge which comes in the midfield from Aurier, and then Sissoko tries to bring it forward. Mkhitaryan's won it back, and again it's Arsenal on the front foot with Iwobi. He's inside the penalty area, and Kolasinac will be able to react quickly after the initial ball was blocked, but he's just overrun it, and it's gone over the line and out of play for a goal kick. Tried to wrap his left foot around it to keep it in, pull it back for the Arsenal players waiting in the centre. but he couldn't make contact in time. Goal kick to Tottenham, 7 gone on TalkSport, where it's still 0-0.
Well, there's a perfect example. Tottenham try to play out just outside their own 18-yard box, try to play a ball out in the midfield. Who's first to react? Torreira. He's in there quickly, wins the ball back, plays it over to that left-hand side, and there was an overload there. I think between Iwobi and Kolasinac, they've got to do better than they did there. They've got to get a ball across the face of the goal, or even get a shot at goal. I mean, they were crowded out slightly by the Tottenham defence. If they just played it a little bit quicker, there certainly was an opportunity there for Arsenal.
Spurs have won each of their last 9 London derbies. 7 of those in the league. That run of 7 in the league, their best in all capital clashes, stretching back to 1951. Aubameyang for Arsenal, who've been much the better of the two sides in the early stages. He's been fouled by Serge Aurier, and the inquest is an immediate one between Aurier and young Foyt to his left-hand side. Wasn't happy with the defensive covering that Foyt was providing in his positioning there as the ball was worked down the inside left channel. Foyt just half asleep as it was turned round the corner for Aubameyang, and the free kick to Arsenal's in a dangerous position.
Yeah, but hang on, Aurier made the mistake. He miscontrolled it straight into the path of about, and then he turned around and blames Foyt for his mistake. It's a good opportunity because there's decent height in there. Socrates in there, Mustafi and Holden towering over everyone inside that 18-yard box.
Holding is Socrates stand by the penalty spot. Kolasinac is just towards the ball from the spot. In it comes, a left-footed away swinger. The heads go up for it. Was Mustafi. Didn't really get clean contact, but the referee's given a penalty. Penalty to Arsenal. Some bumping and barging going on inside the box. And maybe the referee saw a handball, but the yellow card is shown. Jan Vertonghen, the player, caution. As the ball came in, Mustafi going up for it, but it did hit the left hand of Vertonghen as he jumped up. Linesman near touchline gave it. Mike Dean pointed to the spot, and it's a chance for Arsenal to take what you'd have to say 9 minutes in would be a deserved lead. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Arsenal's leading scorer, yet to score in a North London derby. He has now. Sends Lloris the wrong way and just calmly rolled it into the bottom left-hand corner. First blood to Emery's Arsenal, who leads Spurs by a golden L.
I say the stadium is absolutely erupted, Jamin. I thought they would be dangerous from set plays, but I didn't expect them to get an easy penalty of that. What was Jan Vertonghen thinking about, jumping up, his arm up in the air in the manner that it was? I've got to give the officials credit, you know, and particularly the assistant on the near side, who was looking right across at the incident, and his flag went up straight away, indicated with his hand across his chest it was a penalty kick, spotted well with the officials. But what a finish from Aubameyang. Just strolled up, waited for Lloris to go one side, put it in the opposite corner, and a perfect start for Arsenal. And you quite rightly pointed out, Jim, well deserved, because they have been the better team in the opening 10 minutes, 12 minutes of this game.
Aubameyang's first ever goal in a North London derby, not his first against Tottenham. He had a really good record against them when he played for Dortmund. That's now 5 in 6 matches that he's played against Spurs, and he's now scored with each of his last 9 shots on target in the Premier League. A 10th minute lead for Arsenal, and the familiar refrain of 1-0 to the Arsenal rings round the Emirates Stadium. Clearance by Vertonghen, who was booked for the incident. Everything has gone Arsenal's way so far. They lead by a golden L.
And when you looked at Vertonghen, Jim, when the referee blew, you know, to give the penalty, there was no complaints. It wasn't as if he got there and said, I was nudged or my arm was forced up in the air. He knew he'd made a huge mistake. And it's given Arsenal the lead. But Arsenal, as I said, their attitude at the start of this game has been usually different. We've just seen Mustafi get really tight on Harry Kane when the ball was there. He was first onto it, won that initial 50-50, and you'll probably say that they've won all the 50-50s all over the park at the moment. Tottenham just haven't got started. But that's not to say that they won't. Very good team in really good form, and you expect at some stage they're going to get a foothold in this game.
Well, every time that Arsenal have taken the lead in a match under Emery in the Premier League, they've gone on to win. Here's Son, right hand side of the penalty area as Spurs launch their first attack of the game, and a brisk shot in towards the near post is beaten away by Leno and out of play for the first corner of the afternoon, which goes Tottenham's way, and Eriksson will go across to take it.
And that all just came with Dele Alli flipping the ball over the top, and there's the pace of Son in behind Holden, who just couldn't keep with him. Then he got a 1v1 situation, got it on his right foot, hit it with plenty of power, but straight at Leno, a save the keeper would be expected to make.
Two Spurs players across to take this corner. Davis runs over it. Eriksson will take it. A right-footed away swing. A Holding got his head to it, and it bounces down outside the penalty area, and an opportunity for the Gunners to bring it further clear. Although Socrates in the end had just ran out of time before electing where to put the ball upfield, and it's run out of play for a throw. Arsenal fans on their feet again, leading by a goal to nil. Dyer. Back for Vertonghen. Vertonghen on halfway. Rolls it through the midfield. Sissoko, too busy directing traffic, just absolutely oblivious to what was going on around him. And Arsenal have picked it up with Aubameyang, finding Iwobi inside the penalty area. Try to make his way forward. Iwobi, the left-hand side of the box. Little driven ball in towards Aubameyang. He came behind him, and he couldn't divert Kolasinac's cross in. And in the end, Spurs smuggle it clear. It could have been two.
It should have been two, Jim, because there was an overload. And I think Iwobi, because he's not a natural left-sided player, or naturally he wants to get the ball on his left foot, he wants to come inside all the time, so he's dragging it back in, but the numbers were already done enough to put him off. Eventually the ball came back to him. He slid a little ball into the path of Kolasinac, fired across the face of the goal, and as you quite rightly pointed out, just slightly behind Aubameyang, couldn't get any real purchase on it to trouble Lloris in the goal. But I've got to say, Arsenal started this game so well. They've been all over Tottenham at the moment, and Tottenham have had one opportunity from Sean Strike, saved by Leno, but apart from that, they just can't really string any passes together.
It's half-time at Ashton Gate. Bristol City 0, Millwall 0. That one live for you over on TalkSport 2. And Tranmere leads Southport in the Cup 1-0. Goal kick taken by Hugo Lloris. Kane coming to flick it on. Mustafi can guide it back to Bernd Lehner, who will control it inside his penalty area and then deliver a long right-footed clearance. On the end of it is Vertonghen, who arches the back and heads it away. I'm sure his head still spinning after the complete aberration, the handball, which gave Aubameyang the opportunity to give Arsenal the lead from the spot. An opportunity that he's taken. Arsenal do have a poor record against other members of the Big Six. Only one win in the last 13 games against the sides that finished in the top six last season. Aurier pulling the ball back to his goalkeeper, and it's knocked away left-footed over halfway. As I say, just the one win in 13 against last season's top six, but that win was in this fixture last season. The goals from Mustafi and Sanchez got Arsenal over the line. Spurs with Son. Work the ball down towards the left-hand touchline for Ben Davis. Davis waiting for Son to make movement on the overlap for him. It is played back for the South Korean international now, who just makes his way towards the edge of the penalty area and then turns back out. Davis with the ball in, a diving headed clearance from Mustafi gets it clear, and then Mkhitaryan is able to play it off the retreating Eriksson, and out of play for an Arsenal throw. Arsenal leading 1-0.
Even when that ball was delivered in there from this left-hand side, I was looking into the centre of the goal there. Who's in there for Tottenham? One player, Harry Kane. It was easy for Mustafi at the near post to clear it because none of the Tottenham players were gambling. As I say, I think the way that that Arsenal have started, Tottenham haven't really settled into the game again. They can't get the passing game going, and where Arsenal are doing really well, Jim, see Sissoko and Dyer, they want time on the ball. They want to get it where they can get turned on it and pass it square under no pressure, but they are getting players right on top of them, whether it be Iwobi, Mkhitaryan, Xhaka, Torreira. They're getting high up the pitch, they're pressurising the midfield of Tottenham, who just can't get the passing game going at the moment.
And now Kane tries to spin Mustafi. Socrates comes across and puts it out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Spurs left-hand side. You're listening to Arsenal against Tottenham on TalkSport with Just Eat Football, food, living the dream. Throw taken by Ben Davis, chipped towards the edge of the penalty area where Eriksson will chase it. Socrates chests it down, Torreira whacks it away. High ball forward that Foyt mops up comfortably, and the young Argentinian lays it back to his goalkeeper. Lloris takes the touch, takes a second, and then stops the ball dead before side-footing it out towards Foyt on the right-hand side. His clearance was a really nervy one, which ricochets back in the air up off Iwobi. and eventually goes out of play for a goal kick. Lloris just telling his players, calm down. Certainly, in terms of approach to the game and getting their heads around it, it's Arsenal that have been much the better.
I'm just looking at Pochettino and his technical area. He's trying to get his players into positions at the moment. Once again, look how high they're being pressed by the Arsenal players, forcing them into making mistakes. I tell you what, if you let that run, Son, because Bellerin was so high up the pitch, there's a lot of room for him to run into. They're just struggling really to get, as I say, the passing game going for one. And just you're looking at the big players, Eriksen, Ali, Son and Kane. They have to come to the fore more.
Well, those four that you talk about there played 20 games together last season in the Premier League for Spurs. They won 16 of those 20. This is only the second time all season, this time round, that they have played together. So far, clearly hasn't worked. Just the one opportunity for Spurs so far. Arsenal deserving the lead. Bellerin has it. Eriksen and Son, if anything, just getting in each other's way. They got the lines of communication right in the end, and Eriksen clears it straight into Bellerin. Off the Spaniard for a throw, which will be taken on the Spurs left.
Yeah, but look at the way that Spurs are lined up at the moment, Jim. There's no one over on the far side of the field. You know, I just think at the moment it looks like they're too close together. They're not spreading out. They're not giving themselves options. They're playing into Arsenal's hands at the moment. I think Ali, Son, Eriksen, you look at how close they are. You know, that's what you need when you're in possession of the ball. You need to spread out to give your midfielders time to get on the ball and pick out a few passes.
Xhaka taking a free kick. Great vision as well. Aurier completely asleep. It's Iwobi. What a save from Lloris. Crucial one, diving to his left-hand side. He got his body behind it. It could have been 2-0. Ali plays it forward now, looking to get Sissoko going on the counter-attack. But Arsenal mop up neatly and chip the ball back over the top for Mkhitaryan. Kolasinac finds himself as the most advanced of the Arsenal players for a moment. Sliding challenge gets it half clear, but Spurs bring it forward again with Iwobi to Kolasinac, left-hand side of the area, chipped up for the far post. Bellerin with a right-footed effort, and Ben Davies threw himself into the line of fire. Then Torreira tries his luck from distance and drags it wide. But that all came from a quickly taken Arsenal free kick. Xhaka's wonderful ball, and knowing that Kolasinac was going to make a run, and Aurier just completely oblivious to it.
I've got to say, they're just the way that they're moving the ball quickly, how sharp they are in possession, the movement off the ball, the angles that they're making to receive the ball has been absolutely excellent, and but for some brilliant defending. You know, one, I think Vertonghen might got a little touch on it before it went through to Lloris, but certainly the goalkeeper had a save to make, and then eventually when it came over to Bellerin, the block from Ben Davies was absolutely crucial.
Well, here are the latest odds from Betfair, Sunday Exclusive's official betting partner. Arsenal 8-13, Spurs 4-1 to turn it around, and the draw is 31-10. Full terms at betfair.com. 18 plus. Gamble away. Arsenal leading Tottenham by a goal to nil. And we've played 20 minutes of the 183rd North London derby. The first without Arsene Wenger for 22 and a half years. Spurs, of course, coming into this one have lost only one of the last 8 Premier League meetings, but they've been second best in nearly every department of this one so far. Eriksen will bring the ball forward. It's an excellent ball forward, but Sissoko made his run a little bit too early. The flag is up, and it's a free kick to Arsenal. Let's find out what reporter Ian Abrahams has made of the opening 20 minutes. Good afternoon, Moose.
Good afternoon. Lots of problems for Pochettino on the sideline. I just wonder, boys, normally teams arrive 90 minutes before a game. Spurs got here today 65 minutes before the match. I wonder if they even thought yet of getting off the bus.
Well, that's a good point, Eamon. I mean, when you're used to your preparation being 90 minutes, the players know, the time spent inside the changing room, when to come out for your warm-up. But it's just the way that Arsenal have started. I don't think the Tottenham players anticipated this at all. They should have done, particularly in a derby match, that the players were going to be up for it. We know of late Arsenal haven't really played with a real tempo early on in games, but they certainly have today.
Big roar as Bellerin's control was excellent. He turned neatly then when he plays it forward. Aubameyang's offside, and then Vertonghen's making the point. He kicked the ball away as soon as he saw the flag was up. Well, it's a free kick which will be taken by Spurs about 15 yards outside their own penalty area. 1-0 to Arsenal.
I bet that was tight, Jim, and I mean that is the strength of Aubameyang. He's not going to come short and get involved in the build-up play, but you put it over the top to utilise his pace, and maybe that's why Foyt's been brought in, because I think if you play with Alderweireld and Vertonghen, neither one of them you see have got blistering pace. Foyt certainly has got more pace than the two of them players. But I think they might be missing the experience of Alderweireld today.
Now Son has toe poked it forward. Ali into the middle for Eriksen, but coming back to cover, Kolasinac did really well. It's not a player that's earned too many rave reviews for his defensive ability on the left-hand side of Arsenal's defensive contingent, but that was an excellent piece of covering. Read the danger, stopped Eriksen turning it onto his right foot when he may well have scored. It's a corner which will be taken by Spurs on the left flank, their second corner of the game.
When you play with three centre-halves, you can't afford your left-sided centre-half to come in that narrow, that close to the other two, and leave so much space over on that right-hand side. And Kolasinac's done brilliant to come back.
Corner comes in from Eriksen towards the near post. And you see a fair few of those over the course of a season. An Eriksen corner which is volleyed away by the nearest defender at that near post. And that was another illustration. How to play for a throw which will be taken on the Tottenham left-hand side by Ben Davies. Midway through the first half. Spurs yet to get going, really. Son bursting inside the penalty area. The angle's tight, the save is effective enough. The second attempt, Ben Leno got down and managed to grasp the ball away from the on-rushing Harry Kane. Another Son shot from a tight angle on the other side of the penalty area this time. Leno would have been disappointed had he been beaten from that, but still needed to be gathered in safely.
Well, let's say in the last 6 or 7 minutes he's been much better for Tottenham. Have had 3 opportunities, haven't they? You know, there was a 1v1 over on the right hand side, the left of Arsenal, when he had a 1v1 situation against Holding. He got his shot on target, Leno made the save. Eriksen nearly got through, good covering from Kolasinac, and just that moment there, lovely piece of skill from Zon to get beyond Mustafi.
Ali rolling it forward. Tottenham are, as Ray says, beginning to warm to their task now. Xhaka, long ball over the top from him. Iwobi will give chase. Sissoko has covered an awful lot of ground to get back and lays it back to his compatriot Lloris, who will then clear it left-footed after a first touch to control it. Mustafi just tries to cushion a header into the path of Bellerin. He did take enough of the pace off it for the Spaniard to run onto it. Ben Davies engages with him straight away and forces him back inside his own half for Mustafi again, who's 5 yards outside his own penalty area for knocking it back through the box for Ben Leno. Looks like a real throwback. A goalkeeper all in green. That will never catch on.
It's just interesting, Unai Emery outside his technical area, the fourth official, I can't quite see who it is. I wouldn't like his job today. He's been chasing them around, trying to get him back into the technical area, whereas you look at Pochettino, stand there arms folded at the moment. He's been here before in North London derbies. He knows exactly what they're all about.
Yeah, Unai Emery is extraordinarily animated, really. Last time that he came up against Pochettino, the two of them are close friends. It was Poch that won that particular game by 4-0, and he was the manager of Espanyol, and Emery was in charge of Valencia. But it's Emery gunning for revenge, who so far will be much the happier with the way things are going this afternoon. Mustafi's got the ball. Oh, he's laid it back for Ben Leno with real pace. Effectively a shot on target back towards his own goal. Not enough pace to cause any more than a few minor palpitations for Leno, who got across his line in time to be able to field it and get it upfield. And in doing so, he's forced Aurier down a tight little cul-de-sac, but he's managed to mop up and guide it back for his goalkeeper, and Lloris will clear. Ali trying to hold it up. Arsenal win possession back. Xhaka plays it forward. Iwobi with a well-intentioned layoff out towards Kolasinac on the left-hand touchline. TalkSport bringing the North London derby exclusively live for national radio, with Arsenal leading courtesy of Aubameyang's 10th minute penalty. We've played 25 now. Bellerin controls the ball on the solar plexus. Down for the blue-booted goal scorer Aubameyang. Coming in off the right-hand touchline. He's laid it behind square for Torreira. Into the feet of Mkhitaryan. Torreira again for Aubameyang. His ball in. Iwobi gives chase. Poor header away. Falls for Bellerin, but he can't control it. Dyer knocks it clear. Kane holds it up and buys the free kick from Socrates.
Yeah, poor challenge from Socrates. Although he knew exactly what he was doing. Just offside here, Son, isn't it? Yeah. Try to take a quick free kick, played it over the top, and between Holding and Mustafi got the line right, just allowing Son to run a little bit too far ahead of the two defenders. But I've got to tell you, Torreira in midfield just done a couple of pieces of skill there, Jim. Absolutely brilliant, textbook stuff from a midfield player. Not always eye-catching, but very, very influential, very important to the side.
Bellerin is on the right-hand side of the Arsenal midfield. We're situated our vantage point not too high here at the Emirates, about midway inside the half that Arsenal are attacking at the moment, and they're level with us as Torreira lays it off, and Dyer has caught him. Referee's played the advantage. He might revisit that in a moment. That could be a yellow card for Dyer. Play goes on though after a good advantage from referee Dean, with Iwobi trying to lay it off for Kolasinac on the left-hand side. Forced back by Aurier. Iwobi will play the ball back for Mkhitaryan onto his right foot for a shot. It was an excellent challenge from Ali that stopped him doing so, and then Eriksen chips it forward for Son, and the counter-attack is on here. Son will be able to bring the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area and work it onto his right foot, and Arsenal had enough bodies back, at least temporarily. Sissoko chips it back in, too high for Son, and it's caught comfortably by Bernd Lehner. But just for a moment, there were views from the Spurs fans who would have thought that Son was going to be able to do to Arsenal what he did to Chelsea last week.
Yeah, I think he just came inside into where the numbers were. Instead of going to the outside, he came in field, and there were so many Arsenal players there. He eventually played it over the right-hand side. I'm not sure what Sissoko was trying to do there, because he's just lifted it hen high, which is always going to favour the goalkeeper. And he was like catching practice for Leno, wasn't it? It was such a simple ball to come out and take and defuse the situation. Like I say, though, we've been playing 28 minutes or thereabout. It's been pulsating. The pace of the game's been absolutely electric, and I don't know if Arsenal can keep this up for the full 90 minutes. And maybe the last 5 minutes, or they have slowed it down slightly, and it's Tottenham. It's just as I said, they're having a foothold in the game now. They're looking a bit more comfortable in possession of the ball and a little bit more threatening.
Well, that opening half hour or so has gone by in the blink of an eye. Possession almost exactly level, 51-49 in Arsenal's favour. After us, the final word with Natalie Sawyer and Dean Saunders, keeping you updated with everything going on in the Merseyside derby as well, which kicks off at 4:15. And then on the sporting couch with Brian Moore tonight, before Danny Kelly's back with Trans-Euro Express between 9 and 12. At the moment, he might not be in a very good mood, with his beloved Spurs trailing by a goal to nil, with Eriksen making his way forward now for Tottenham. Been the better side in the last 5 minutes, certainly the first spell of supremacy that they've had in the game. But they're on the back foot for a moment. Vertonghen has done well enough to mop up a ball that was intended for Aubameyang, and he's got it back to his goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. We play 29. As near as makes no difference. And Vertonghen will play it for you with TalkSport, where Chelsea have already beaten Fulham by 2-0, and Arsenal lead this one by a 1-0. Eriksen back for Vertonghen, who gave away the penalty, raising a left arm and flicking the ball as it came in from a free kick, getting it away from the head of Shkodran Mustafi. Handball for a penalty, which Aubameyang dispatched. Spurs bring it forward down the left, and Sokratis has caught Son, and that's a free kick which will be taken on the left-hand side for Spurs. Not too far adrift of the edge of the penalty area, but nearer the left-hand touchline than the left-hand side of the box. Eriksen, Davis and Son all in close quarters. Son just helping himself back to his feet now without the need for treatment, although he's walking off a little bit gingerly. And Eriksen just discussing the incident with Mike Dean. Eric Dyer makes his way to the bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area, which is the near corner as we look at it, and the near corner to where the free kick is going to be taken. And he's just having a word with the referee as well. It's one in the wall, that's Aubameyang. But Bernd Lehner has just asked for a second player to go across and join that defensive contingent, so Mkhitaryan obliges. Now what will Spurs be able to muster from here? An Eriksen in swinger or a Davis away swinger? They also have Sissoko waiting, poised on the edge of the penalty area if it's not square, but it's probably too far away. Davis runs over it, Eriksen clips it in towards the near post. Oh, it's in, it's 1-1. Excellent near post run from Eric Dyer. Just got a little touch. He celebrates in front of the Arsenal supporters, and the Spurs fans at the opposite end of the ground go absolutely balmy. Quite a provocative celebration in front of those Arsenal fans away to the left-hand side, and I think a few have tried to get on the pitch, and there's now some scrapping going on between some of the Arsenal substitutes who are warming up, and they've taken exception to the overzealous celebration down by the corner flag. Eric Dyer's goal has got Spurs back on level terms, but there was plenty of pushing and shoving going on. Ali and Guendouzi certainly amongst those involved, and Pochettino's had to race down the touchline in his charcoal suit to try and calm his players down. But at the end of Tottenham's best period of the game so far, they're back on level terms. Eric Dyer scoring from Eriksen's set piece, and it's 1-1.
I've got to say, the ball in from Christian Eriksen is absolutely delicious, and in a fabulous area. and you can see that Dyer got ahead of his marker, just got the merest of touches. I don't think Leno's seen it too late, and it might have just skidded off. He didn't act quickly enough to keep the ball out, and they're a little bit overzealous with their celebration, going over to where the Arsenal substitutes were warming up. Brilliant ball in. We're talking about whether it's offside or not. It is very, very tight indeed. It's one of them ones, I think it's within the realms, it's going to be okay. Little touches, just bounced in front of Leno, who didn't react quickly enough. I think the goalkeeper, maybe if he was a little bit quicker going out towards the ball, he might have got something on it. And you can see fell back into the net, but perfect ball in, good header from Eric Dyer. And after all the mishaps down in that far end of the pitch for the Arsenal substitutes and the Tottenham players, I'm pleased to say we're going to get back on with the game.
Well, it looks as though Dyer has been booked for his celebration. The first goal that he scored in a North London derby, the 10th time that he's played against Arsenal. 1-1 is the scoreline. Now the applause from the Arsenal fans is down towards the touchline. Pochettino's been spoken to by the fourth official, Andre Mariner. He certainly wasn't acting as a troublemaker. He was chief pacifist in all of that. The game resumes. Aubameyang's offside. Cup goals to tell you about. Shrewsbury League Scunthorpe 1-0. Grimsby a goal up at Chesterfield. The North London derby beautifully poised, one apiece.
You got to say, if I was Pochettino, I would be saying to Christian Eriksen, everything's a free kick, because his delivery from that is much better than from corners.
Oh, Kane has backheeled it into the path of Son, left hand side of the area, the angle's tight, he tries to bring it back, referee has a look, he's given a penalty to Tottenham. Sliding challenge coming in. Son had his legs swept from underneath him, and there's more shenanigans inside the penalty area. Sissoko is involved. I think the Arsenal players think that Son has gone down easily there, but Mike Dean has given a second penalty of this first half, and an opportunity for Spurs to come from behind with 2 goals in a 3-minute spell.
I've got to say, Jim, I think it's Holden's the one that's come in to make the challenge. When Son goes through, Holden came across from that left side centre back. Did he catch him? Oh, it's one of them ones that he's gone in, his hands got up straight away. Was there any contact? It didn't look like there was any act at all. He's thrown himself to the ground. Holden straight away looks round, but the referee, I've got to say, Mike Dean's right on top of it. My first reaction was to look at him, and he pointed straight to the spot. He had no doubt whatsoever, and what a chance for Harry Kane to turn this game on its head.
It's a very controversial penalty, the second of the game. Harry Kane to give Tottenham a 2-1 lead, right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner. And Spurs have turned the derby around with 2 goals in a 4-minute spell. Arsenal 1, Tottenham 2, but what a controversial penalty that's given Spurs the lead.
Well, it certainly was, Jim. I'm looking at Unai Emery. He's just contemplating on the sidelines there. He can't quite believe what's gone on in the last 5 minutes, where his team were in top, looking like they were most likely to get the second goal, but a controversial penalty. Holding going in with a challenge on Son. Son's gone over. Referee's pointing straight to the spot. Up steps Harry Kane, and you do not expect him to miss. Sends the goalkeeper Leno the wrong way, and all of a sudden it's to our right hand side of the stadium where we hear the Tottenham fans celebrating the fact that they've gone 2-1 up.
Wow, what a game this has been. 10 minutes ago, Arsenal well on top, leading 1-0. Now Spurs rampant, pushing forward again. Ali trying to find a way through past Socrates, but he defended well enough, and Leno could come out of the edge of the penalty area and pick it up. Eric Dyer with the first, Harry Kane with the second. His 26th goal in 40 London derbies in the Premier League. His record against Arsenal so impressive. It's 8 in 9 against the Gunners. And he's won a free kick here, which is 5 yards inside the Arsenal half. And now it's Unai Emery standing on the edge of the technical area, telling his players to calm down. The game has turned completely on its head.
Well, we've got to say, Jim, they've lost their discipline at the moment in the Arsenal players, and the fear for Arsenal all along, and we've been saying it for a while now, is the defending. And we've got to say the defending in the last 15 minutes hasn't been good. Yeah, Mustafi just giving away a foul there, just completely coming in and taking Harry Kane out. We've seen Socrates do exactly the same. He's very fortunate not to have a yellow card already. Holding with a challenge on Son. Did he catch him? Didn't he catch him? I'm sure if we had VAR, we would know definitively if there was a touch or not, and that's why it has to come in for situations like that.
Well, We've had a look at a couple of replays, and the replays that we've seen suggest that there was no contact. I think that is one that VAR would certainly overrule.
Who'd be a referee though, Jim? Seriously, would you be a referee?
I'm not having a go at Mike Dean.
No.
I'm just saying I think that is a mistake, but there's no criticism of the referee. He's only given one penalty in 8 previous North London derbies. He gave that to Spurs. They lost 5-2 that day. Well, that scoreline could happen again, but it's going to be an extraordinary derby if Arsenal turn this around in that favour now. 2-1 Tottenham lead with 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Eriksen will play it forward for Son. Mustafi is in there very strongly. He's caught him, and that's going to be a yellow card. And while Son receives some treatment, we'll get really quick news of a goal at Ashton Gate. Lawrence Mora.
Bristol City 1, Millwall 0, 53 on the clock when Jake Cooper, the Millwall centre-back, put into his own net. A cross from the left-hand side by Elias, and Cooper was stretching for it. It came off his shin and deflected into the far corner of his net. City with the breakthrough. Bristol City 1, Millwall 0.
Arsenal 1, Tottenham 2 in the North London derby. And a free kick which will be taken on the left-hand touchline after Son is back on his feet. Yellow card was shown to Škoda and Mustafi. I would suggest that there's a fair bit of ill feeling between those two sets of players now after the dire celebration, after the penalty that was given Tottenham's way. I'm pretty convinced that this might not end 11 against 11.
And not just that, Jim. I mean, at half-time, what's the reaction going to be from both sets of supporters towards the referee? I mean, Arsenal have only got themselves to blame. They got off to a great start, didn't capitalise on the advantage that they had by scoring that second goal, and then they just sat back a little bit, which allowed Tottenham to get into the game, and they've scored the goals that mattered. Son's been really, really good. I mean, apart from did he go over easily or not, but he's been such an influence. He's running in behind the back three of Arsenal.
Let's go back to our reporter Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, Andre Mariner's going to have a big task at half-time, Jimmy. Right about the ill feeling. Straight after the first goal, Eric Dyer motioned to Lichtsteiner saying, I'll meet you in the tunnel at half-time, and Xhaka went across to calm him down. I think we might have to watch out for that.
Bury 0, Luton 1 in the FA Cup with Harry Cornick's goal as a neutral, and there are very few neutrals in here. You and I are two of them. It's great as a neutral watching a North London derby. It's absolutely brilliant. Long crossfield ball out to Bellerin, controls it on his thigh, turns away from Son's challenge. Eriksen is in there strongly and got the better of Torreira. Now Son will be able to pick it up. Bellerin's come back, one possession back. Son went down easily, but there was no foul. No claim from him that he was fouled. Eriksen and Son and Davis and Son again, and now Dyer all playing it at close quarters. Dyer with an exaggerated chip over the top towards the edge of the area. It's Ali that picks it up, trying to work the angle. Sissoko is involved. Sliding challenge gets it away from him, and then Iwobi calms things down in the midfield, tries to release Henrik Mkhitaryan, but Vertonghen mops up for Spurs and gets it back to his goalkeeper. And aside from the scoreline, and I know that my next observation is a product of the scoreline, but where Arsenal were in complete control for the opening 25 minutes, it's now Spurs who are on top everywhere, all over the field. They've given a free kick away now. Holding takes it. Worked out to the left-hand touchline for Iwobi. Midway inside the Tottenham half. 6 to go. It's Arsenal 1, Tottenham 2 on TalkSport. As Torreira plays it down to the right-hand side. Mkhitaryan for Bellerin. Bellerin plays it back for Mustafi, and Mustafi will go back inside his own half for Sokratis. Sokratis plays it to the left for Rob Holding, and Holding will go out towards Kolasinac on the left-hand touchline. Iwobi in there has done well to win it back. He's drawn Foyt up from the defensive line. 5 to go to half-time, and now the bleed played out to the Arsenal right for Bellerin, who can't control it. And with 40 minutes on the clock, it's 2-1 to Spurs.
You got to say to Spurs, what a response they've given from going a goal behind when they were all over the place defensively, midfield, couldn't get a passer or any sort of passing game going. All of a sudden, they got themselves back into it just by forcing the issue. I said Son's been excellent. He's going to get booed off the park from the Arsenal supporters because he has gone over rather easily on a couple of occasions, which is not endearing him to the home support. But his influence for Tottenham has been absolutely immense.
Well, now Aubameyang scored his 10th minute penalty. It looked as though Arsenal were going to enjoy a vintage afternoon. Remember, they haven't led a Premier League game at half-time all season. And I would suggest that that's going to be the same case today. 2-1 to Spurs, who've only won one of the last 28 matches away at Arsenal. Here's Eriksson finding Ali, right hand side of the penalty area, low ball in from him. Kane was waiting for it, fell over Bernd Leno as the cross was blocked, and it's cleared out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Tottenham right.
Well, it's now Arsenal making mistakes defensively. So Kratis tried to play the ball out to Holden, played it straight to Dele Alli. He tried to pick the ball into the 6-yard box to pick out his teammate Harry Kane. Defended well by Arsenal on that occasion, but it's all Tottenham at the moment. They're the ones that are on the front foot, taking the game to Arsenal. I'll tell you what, but I think both managers would be delighted just to get in at half time and try to sort a few things out at the moment. And don't forget, Arsenal have scored 21 goals in the second half of matches, James, so don't be put off by what they can achieve in the second half of football matches.
Absolutely, 3/4 of the goals they've scored this season have come after half time. 4 today, 21 in the second half, only 7 in the first. Spurs with an excellent record defending Leeds. It is beautifully poised. Is it going to be a 7th straight win for Spurs in all competitions, or is it going to be the elongation of Arsenal's unbeaten streak, which currently stands at 18, unbeaten since the opening 2 games of the season against Manchester City here and then Chelsea away. 3 to go to half time. Spurs on the front foot again. Kane tries to make something happen, brings it forward. Referee spotted an infringement. Free kick taken quickly by Mustafi. Just bent down, put his hand on the top of the ball and took the free kick for Bellerin. Bellerin back for Sokratis, out towards the left hand side of the back 3 for Holding. Holding then to Ser Kolasinac with Iwobi trying to make a run down the channel. Aurier stood firm with him, and in the end Arsenal just worked it back into a more conservative position in central midfield. The real cut and thrust and dynamism of Arsenal's attack, which we saw in the first quarter of this game, has certainly dissipated since. Bellerin on the right hand side of the midfield, turns one way then the other, trying to get away from Eriksson, who's just having a little kick out at him, couldn't make the contact that he wanted, and the free kick is given Arsenal's way, and they can bring it forward quickly, and it's worked down towards the left hand side of the air, ball in for Aubameyang. He's offside. Good save. Strode forward onto it, wrapped his right foot around it. Lloris got it away, but the flag was up anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to say lovely decision making up from the assistant referee on the near side to us here. He was in perfect position to see that Aubameyang just straight a yard offside, but how quickly Arsenal changed defence into attacks from that quick free kick over to Iwobi, on to Kolasinac, first time ball into Aubameyang, and I've got to say Lloris stood up really well to make the save. He wasn't to know the flag had gone up. Well, I've got to say, what a pulsating 44 minutes we've had in this game, end-to-end stuff, and you still wouldn't know who's going to go on to win it in this second half.
You're listening to Arsenal against Spurs on TalkSport with Now TV. Treat yourself to Arsenal versus Spurs live right now with the Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass for a one-off payment of just $7.99. A minute to go. Be interesting to see how much the officials add because of the celebration to Dyer's goal. Could be a couple of minutes. Dyer is involved in the action here. Appeals for a handball. We're against one of the other Spurs players. Referee Mike Dean not interested. Mustafi lays the ball back to Holding, out towards Kolasinac on the left-hand touchline. Will bring the ball forward into Tottenham territory. Finds Iwobi then down the left-hand side of the box for Xhaka's run. Sliding challenge, puts it out of play. And Arsenal, as we approach first half stoppage time, have their first corner.
I've got to say, Eric Dyer there had to time that perfection, didn't he, when Xhaka made the run down that left channel. Picked out with a through ball from Iwobi, and he just about got his toe on it to put it out for a corner.
Bellerin stands on the edge of the box. 5 red and white shirts in the penalty area. 2 down by the corner quadrant, with a corner that's worked short for Mkhitaryan. Back from him to Iwobi. Iwobi back for Mkhitaryan again. The line of delivery changed as a left-footed ball comes in, and they'll have to do it all again. It was blocked by Aurier and out of play for another corner as we go into 3 additional minutes at the end of the first half.
Yeah, well, it's not on to play the short one now because Arsenal got 2 over there. Likewise, Tottenham, they have tried to play him short.
And it comes in, left-footed, plenty of air on the subsequent cross. Aubameyang heading it down, and the volley over the bar acrobatically from Mustafi, who's claiming he was pushed in the process, but it's gone way over the bar and out of play for a goal kick.
I think he's actually complaining he might have came off for Tongan as he took the shot on the acrobatic overhead kick, but that was a deep ball played to the far post. Aubameyang won the header, headed it back across into the danger zone. Mustafi was there but just couldn't really get his shot on target there.
Harry Kane going up for a long ball played forward from the back by Hugo Lloris. Dele Alli wins the seconds and will take it down towards the corner flag. Tries to backheel it into the path of Christian Eriksen. Torreira's in there trying to win it back. Ali is in there, a real forest of legs with two players from each side and a few kicks being dished out as well. Arsenal bring it away. Referee let everything go. Iwobi, the referee had to get out of the way of that. It's a good job he did from an Arsenal perspective, because they'll bring it forward for Mkhitaryan. First time ball in. Aubameyang takes it on, but Vertonghen slides in and puts it out of play for a corner, with Arsenal ending the half on the front foot.
I'll tell you what, if Mkhitaryan just got his head up, Kolasinac was coming in at the far post, free as you like. He tried to fire it in, and I think he was trying to pick out Kolasinac. Aubameyang controlled it, and he just got away from him slightly, which allowed Vertonghen to come back and make the challenge.
Xhaka's ball inside the penalty area, half cleared. Iwobi was going well wide. It's hit Dyer, will bounce down towards the dead ball line. Ali was the quickest to react, stops it going out of play for a corner, and whacks it upfield with Son, his out ball. He couldn't find him, and it drifts out of play for a throw which Bellerin will take. In first half stoppage time on Talk Sport, Arsenal 1, Tottenham 2. Mustafi to Holding and then out towards Iwobi. Iwobi 20 yards outside the penalty area. 4 from him to Aubameyang. Aubameyang back for Iwobi, left hand side of the box. Aurier has gone over there with him. He's trying to buy another corner right at the end of the half, and he succeeded. 4th in quick succession for Arsenal.
It's one of them games, Jim, where you don't want half time, do you? You just want to go right through the 90 minutes, because it's been absolutely blistering, end-to-end stuff. Certainly Arsenal were the better of the two teams for the first 20-25 minutes. Tottenham came storming back into it, and the last few minutes been all Arsenal.
In comes the corner, and the head towards goal. It's a brilliant save from Lloris. Diving backwards, got a hand to it, and was able just to palm it away and deny Arsenal the opportunity to get back on level terms right at the end of the first half with Mustafi's header, the one that was just poured clear.
What a header this is. He had no right to win it. There were so many Tottenham players in and around him, and headed it towards the far post. You can see Lloris getting across his left hand side. He just got a merest of touches to keep the ball out.
Well, derbies can often be stifling affairs. This one, anything but. 45 pulsating minutes have lit up the 183rd North London derby. We've had goals, moments of madness, controversy, scuffles. It's had the lot. Half time, Arsenal 1, Tottenham 2. Thank you, Sags. Well, a double change made at the start of the second half. Moose was right. Mkhitaryan and Iwobi are the players that have come off. And it is Lacazette and Ramsey who have come on, Ray.
I'm not too sure about that, I've got to be honest. I think that's a little bit too early. I mean, I thought Iwobi and Mkhitaryan done all right in the first half, in fairness. Yeah, maybe in the last 20 minutes they just sat off the pace a little bit. When you're looking at Ramsey and Lacazette, Lacazette will go through the middle. I just wonder where Aubameyang will play. Will he play on this left-hand side, or will they go with the two centre-forwards? And maybe, I'm looking at the midfield, certainly looks like Torreira and Xhaka are still sitting deep, with Ramsey just pushing a little bit further up.
Well, the second half is underway. Driving rain now in North London. Spurs leading by 2-1. He does like a half-time substitution, Unai Emery. I've seen that a few times in his brief Arsenal managerial career so far. Sean Williams has equalised for Millwall at Bristol City. It's 1-1 there. We'll keep you up to date with anything at Ashton Gate as Kane tries his luck. And a long left-footed shot from distance, which surely took a deflection. A goal kick has been given. Didn't look as though it should be a corner. Eriksen and Ali both appealing for it, but it will be a goal kick that will get us back underway. These are the two sides then for Arsenal. Leno in goal, Mustafi, Sokratis and Holding. Bellerin, Torreira, Xhaka, Kolasinac, and then Ramsey and Lacazette off the bench. Aubameyang makes up that attacking trident for Arsenal. Spurs, Lloris in goal, Aurier, Foyt, Vertonghen and Davis. Sissoko, Dyer and Eriksen, and then Ali in support of Son and Kane. Vertonghen and Dyer in the book, so too Mustafi. Aubameyang with a 10th minute penalty which gave Arsenal the lead. Dyer equalising, and then 4 minutes later Kane scoring a penalty, a controversial one after Son went down, apparently after no contact from Holding. Xhaka plays the ball forward. Ramsey, Ali is in there strongly, tries to just having won the ball get it away from Xhaka. It's played round the corner then for Ali again by Son. Ali will drive forward, got it through the legs of Holding. Good covering challenge from Torreira. Dynamic in the midfield as always. Kolasinac has lost out to Ali, and has got his arms round him and has stood on his ankle as he tries to win possession back, and it's a Tottenham ball.
Needless as well, isn't it, from Kolasinac? He's just got to play the ball down the line, just try to overcomplicate it between himself, Xhaka, Torreira, Holding. They're trying little back heelers and about 5 yards outside their 18-yard box instead of clearing the ball downfield. I'm not sure about the system that's been employed by Unai Emery at the minute. I think it might take a little while for it to settle down, but it certainly looks like they're playing with two up front and Ramsey just in behind them, and it's like a 3 at the back, 4-1-2 formation that they're trying to employ at the moment.
Well, Eriksen's delivery from a free kick in the first half found Dyer, who nodded in. This one is on the right-hand touchline. Again, it's going to be Eriksen to take it into the same kind of area, and it's just a fraction away. As Leno came out, got stranded, and it took a defensive header, I think, from Holding to steer it away from the onrushing Tottenham players and make sure it was nothing more than a corner. That goes down as great defending.
I've got to be honest with you, I think we've found the weakness in Leno's game, and that's crosses. There, he should come and collect that. He's second best there. He's flapping at it, and it's fortunate Holding got something on it because Harry Kane was coming in.
In comes the corner, it's an away swing, and Mustafi with a commanding header steers that one to safety for Arsenal. Eriksen then lays it back for Sissoko. He's put under pressure from Aubameyang and goes 60 yards back inside his own penalty area for Hugo Lloris. Slough 0, Gillingham 1 in the FA Cup. The ball cleared by Lloris. A long ball launched forward. We'll bring you the team news, headline team news from the Merseyside derby very shortly as well. Liverpool against Everton. We'll keep you updated with everything going on in that game over the course of the afternoon. After us, don't forget the final word with Natalie Sawyer and Dean Saunders, with a fair bit to discuss between 5 and 8 here on Talk Sport. 3.5 minutes of the second half gone on Talk Sport, with still Spurs 2-1 half-time lead remaining intact, and they're on the front foot, having another throw. Son getting booed from some of the Arsenal fans as he picks up the ball in front of the hoardings and hands it for Davis, who takes the throw into the feet of Ali. Ali's gone down, and that's another free kick, and it could well be a yellow card as well. Shown, I think, to Granit Xhaka for his challenge, and that means that he will now be suspended for the midweek game at Manchester United.
I got to be honest, I didn't think it was that bad. He just stuck his leg out. I mean, there was no real intent. Certainly Ali's gone over, he's still down at the moment, he's taking a little bit of time to get to his feet. I don't think it was a crunching challenge that was mistimed there by Xhaka. Just flicked his leg out, caught him. And this is a similar position to where they got the goal from the opposite end, wasn't it? But on this occasion, Eriksen's not getting involved with the free kick. It's Ben Davies and Harry Kane. Well, if Kane's over, rest assured he's going to shoot, isn't he?
Well, he's sizing it up. He's taken 3 steps back. There are 3 in the wall. Leno standing with his right shoulder against the post, making sure that wall's in the right place. Ali stands on the edge of the wall. He's not looking at where this free kick is going to be taken. It's Kane bending it in with pace. Leno got his angles right, acrobatically threw himself across goal and helped it on its way over the bar.
He rarely misses the target, Jim, does he? From any distance, Harry Kane. I think it was going over anyway, but he's flighted it into a good area. He's tried to angle it into the far corner, and Leno couldn't gamble. He had to get something on it and take it over the top of the crossbar.
Corner will be taken by Christian Eriksen on the right hand side for Spurs. His right arm above his head, down by a white corner flag. In it comes towards the penalty spot, headed away by Mustafi, brought down by Jan Vertonghen, who's got time to shoot. He's whipped it back in. Leno makes a comfortable save. Big goal in the FA Cup on a weekend that hasn't had too many shocks. Swindon 0, Woking 1. Jake Hyde for the side in the Conference South. They lead at Swindon by a goal to 0. Let's join our reporter Ian Abrahams.
Just quickly, Jim, my understanding is that there were no injuries to either Iwobi or Mkhitaryan. No tactical changes were tactical at half-time.
Thank you, Moose. 6 gone second half. Unai Emery playing his hand. If memory serves me correct, and I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong, apologise, as Ramsey plays it forward ahead of Aubameyang. I think he made 2, either against Manchester City or against Chelsea. In one of those 2 defeats at the beginning of the season, Emery made a double change at half-time. Spurs in possession with Eriksen. Out to the left-hand touchline for Ali. Ali wraps his right foot around it. Wonderful switch of play for Son. Son getting booed from the Arsenal fans, working the angle on the edge of the penalty area. Xhaka forces him into a midfield position. Eriksson then looks for Aurier, whose cross was disappointing. Ramsey calms things down. Torreira works it out from the back. Lacazette can't hold it up. Sissoko sorted that, takes on Xhaka. Then Torreira, who ends up on the deck. He was fouled. Free kick to Arsenal, 10 yards outside their own penalty area.
Why does Xhaka get a yellow card for his challenge on Dele Alli, and yet Sissoko goes flying into Torreira, completely takes him out, and nothing? And that's why you can hear the Arsenal fans in and around their commentary position, Jim, not happy at all. Just think that Mike Dean may be just favouring Tottenham at the moment as far as challenges are concerned. Look at the lads over there to our left. Look at the referee. They've got their arms up screaming at him. They want a yellow card for Sissoko for that challenge.
I think it's the point that Xhaka and Lacazette are both making now to Mike Dean. Spurs have won 12 of their 17 away games in 2018. It's an extraordinary record. 7 of their 8 this season, which is the best record in the Premier League, as you would imagine. If they win today, they actually equal the club record of 6 away wins in a row in the Premier League. Kolasinac was making his way forward. There was a foul earlier in the play by Aubameyang on Aurier, and the Arsenal fans again disagreed with the decision. It's a free kick which Spurs will take. They'll be in no hurry to take it, with Juan Foyt about 15 outside his own penalty area, and maybe a bit more than that by the time he's nicked a couple of yards.
I've got to be honest, Jim, I agree with the fans at the moment. I think the players are going over far too easily. They've hardly been touched there. Aurier, he was up with a challenge with Aubameyang. He just threw himself to the ground because he knew he was under a bit of pressure, and straight away the assistant on the far side, the referee, concurred and gave him the free kick. That's why the Arsenal fans are a little bit upset at the moment.
Ball out of play for a throw, which Sokratis leaves for Bellerin. Level with us over on the far touchline, the Arsenal right. 9 gone in the second half on TalkSport. 2-1 to Spurs in the game in which they trailed. Kolasinac put under pressure by a poor first touch, then by Sissoko and Aurier. Holding has bailed him out. In the end, Dyer in his white boots has to come across and deal with the threat of Ramsey and put it out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Arsenal left, and Kolasinac takes it quickly back for Sokratis. Sokratis works the ball out to the right hand side of the area. It went right over the penalty spot as it found Mustafi. Now Bellerin will be able to bring it under control, but can't find a forward pass, and it goes back towards the edge of the penalty area again for Xhaka, and back for Mustafi. Mustafi once more out to the Arsenal right hand side. They're being pushed back deep by a quartet of attacking Spurs players. Good work rate from them off the ball, and then by the time Ali puts the pressure on Mustafi, he ends up just delivering a fight ball forward towards halfway. But Arsenal have maintained possession, and a lovely turn by Torreira gets the better of Son, and now he can work it forward through the midfield. Aubameyang to Lacazette. Hasn't really had too many opportunities to shine in the 10 minutes he's been on. Holding brings it forward now. Holding's got Kolasinac to his left. That's the pass that he plays. Back now for Aaron Ramsey. Ramsey, 25 yards from goal. Right-footed effort was going wide. It was blocked. Comes back out for Xhaka. Xhaka down the left-hand side of the area. Kolasinac's ball in towards the far post. Headed away. Torreira brings it down on the edge of the penalty area. Still he has it. Loses his footing. No attempt to win a penalty. And straight back on his feet. Holding from distance. And he's put it well wide. And it remains 2-1 to Tottenham in the second derby of the day. The third is at Anfield. Liverpool against Everton. And the team news comes from TalkSport's Graham Beecroft.
Liverpool 3 changes from the game against Paris Saint-Germain. Dejan Lovren is out. Trent Alexander-Arnold comes in at right back. Joe Gomez goes to centre half. And 2 changes in midfield. Fabinho in for Jordan Henderson, who's suspended. And Xherdan Shaqiri in for James Milner. Everton, they're unchanged from the team which beat Cardiff City last weekend. Liverpool against Everton at Goodison Park.
Thank you, Beaky. That kicks off in just a shade under an hour's time. Arsenal working the ball forward again. Ramsey, deft little flick out. Aubameyang first time. It's 2-2. Arsenal back on level terms with the predatory instincts of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Sensational drive into the net from him. His first North London derby on home soil, and now he's on a hat-trick. A goal that might maintain the unbeaten record under Unai Emery, which stretches back to August. And Spurs have conceded again. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2, in one of the best North London derbies for years.
Guy said, what a finish from Aubameyang when he took it on. I think there's not a lot of danger here. Ball was played forward. Good movement from Aaron Ramsey. Just flicked into the path of Aubameyang, and without breaking strike, just curled it into the far corner. Lloris was rooted to the spot. The goalkeeper couldn't even move to. Watched it nestle in the far corner. What a finish from Aubameyang, and the stadium once again absolutely erupted. Tottenham fans have gone quiet to our right hand side. Unai Emery was out, getting behind these players to drive on to get the next goal in this game.
Leading scorer in the Premier League, his 10th league goal of the season and his 12th all told. His goal scoring record for Arsenal is exceptional, 22 in 32, and he's the man for the big occasion as well. Well, the penalty was just a study in poise and in nerve. That was far removed. An exceptional finish. There was no danger. Wasn't even facing the goal, and he just took half a step to his right and whacked it in past Hugo Lloris. That's why you pay the big money, Jim, for moments like that, for big players like that. The game changes. They can turn something from nothing, and that's what you've just seen from Aubameyang. I've got to give credit there to Aaron Ramsey. Made the run forward, flipped the little ball into the path of Aubameyang, but still had a lot to do. What a finish. Now he's making his way forward again, but Vertonghen had enough of a start to be able to get there first. Aubameyang's actually blocked the clearance. It's gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Tottenham right-hand side. 2-2 in the derby on TalkSport.
Well, I'm not sure. I didn't hear earlier on, but Mr. Mark Saggers, our leader, did he have his little bet today for Abbey's Army? Yes, he did. Yes, so he's one happy man to my right-hand side. He's just nodding at me there. Not only is he enjoying the game, but he's one goal away from getting his little bet up for that wonderful charity.
I think it'll happen. I can't see that there won't be another goal in the last half hour of this one somehow. And the whole atmosphere, as you would imagine, around the Emirates has changed as well. The smell of sulphur in the air with the flares that were led off away to our left-hand side after the equalising goal. And now Arsenal on the front foot have another opportunity with a free kick, which will be taken 15 yards adrift of the edge of the penalty area on the Arsenal left-hand side. And the Gunners have plenty of bodies forward. Everybody forward, really, with the exception of Xhaka. And it's going to be knocked short to Xhaka by Torreira. So it's an outswinging delivery, which is headed away well. I think it was Foyt that got his head to it. Ball goes out to Aubameyang on the Arsenal right. Faced up by Dyer. Tries to drive it in. He's hit him and gone out of play for a corner, which is Arsenal's first of the second half. 2-2.
Good pressure from Arsenal, no doubt about it. Got themselves back into this game. Home support's behind the team now. Xhaka about to swing this corner in with his left foot. Plenty of bodies inside that 18-yard box.
Arsenal's fifth corner of the game. Plenty of air underneath it. Holding heads it down. Rifled through a crowd of players. Great save. Right footed shot from Torreira was a whisker away from giving Arsenal the lead.
I've got to say, I think it was Dyer. Dele Alli cleared it off the line. I think it was Mustafi with a strike. Holding with the header initially. Tottenham didn't deal with it. There was a strike coming in from Mustafi. There was Dele Alli doing his due diligence on the line there to clear the danger. Certainly you said that Lloris was beaten. Follow-up shot from Torreira with a good 3 yards wide of the target. This second half is very much like the first, end-to-end stuff from both teams.
Cannot take your eyes off him. 2-2 the scoreline.
Go on then, I'll put you on the spot. Who's your money on?
Oh, I've changed my mind 8 times.
That's the last minute.
In the second half alone. I really do not know. I don't think it will end 2-2, and I still think there's a red card in this game. We've got half an hour of this mouth-watering occasion remaining. Ball is knocked away by Foyt. Ball towards halfway. Holding, got it clear. Ali stumbled. Kolasinac chips it inside the penalty area, chested down by Ramsey. Under pressure, he's knocked it in first time very quickly with a shot towards the near post, which spooned away off the heels of Vertonghen for another Arsenal corner.
He's picking up some great positions, Aaron Ramsey, isn't he? Involved in the equaliser goal for Aubameyang with a little flick ball after a good run down that right channel there. He moved into a central position, good chest control, got his strike away.
In comes the corner, again towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed over the bar by the retreating Socrates, and out of play for a goal kick. 2-2 the scoreline. Arsenal actually have the record for most successive London derby wins in the top flight. They won 9 in a row under George Graham in the late 80s. Spurs, let me remind you, extend their own personal run to 8 if they can win this one. Arsenal's last home defeat in a London derby in the league came against Chelsea, and that was nearly 3 years ago. Spurs' only success in recent times, or their only success on this ground, when they came back from 2 down at half-time with goals from Bale, Van der Vaart and Yunus Kabul back in 2010. There have been some extraordinary matches between these two. The 5-4, that 3-2, which went Tottenham's way, and of course winning the league at White Hart Lane in 2004 for Arsenal. Many more besides. This is noteworthy, it has to be said. It can be considered, if it carries on going like this for the remaining half hour, in the same breath as some of those illustrious predecessors. Ball is worked for by Arsenal down the right hand side of the area for Lacazette. Lacazette's first time ball inside the area. Kolasinac lets it bounce outside the box. Toe pokes it to Ramsey. Ramsey tries to deliver, blocked again, this time by Aurier. And in fact he's just shanked it straight out of play, I beg your pardon, for a goal kick, which will be taken by Hugo Lloris away to our left-hand side. 63 gone on TalkSport. It's 2-2.
And there was that ball lifted over the top, the pace of Lacazette, getting in between the left full-back Davis and the left-side centre-back Vertonghen. It looked like he was going to go out, but he done brilliant to keep it in, flipped the ball to the far post. I thought Kolasinac should have hit it first time, passed up the responsibility, played it to the left-hand side to Ramsey, and unfortunately just couldn't get his shot on target.
Free kick to Spurs, just inside Tottenham territory. Let's go back to TalkSport's Ian Abrahams.
Aubameyang on a hat-trick. Last hat-trick here, 1978, Alan Sunderland, and a 5-0 win. I bet that'll be history for you to commentate on the next 20 minutes or so.
Well, I certainly didn't commentate on Alan Sunderland's, I promise you that. Eriksson will take it, this free kick for Spurs. It's in a central position, about 25 outside the box.
Sags was resenting that day though, wasn't he?
High ball forward inside the box and chased past Vertonghen and out of play for a goal kick.
Well, that's a usual joke.
The old ones are the best, which is why we love Sags.
Yeah, that was that's normally where you come in, is that you normally blame Sags and I at that stage. Both of us were there that day.
It's going to be a goal kick which will be taken away to our right hand side. 26 minutes to go. 2-2 the scoreline.
I said to you earlier, didn't you, at half time, I said if only all matches were like this, and you said no, it couldn't be, because you would just get bored, you know, because of, it's been brilliantly watched, isn't it? You know, absolutely fantastic, end to end. Both teams have had their spells in the game where they've been dominant, but both of them have come back at certain times. And we said about Arsenal, was it 22 goals now they've scored in the second half of the game, so it just shows you how they've kept that focus, kept that determination. Unai Emery now, he's back in that technical area, getting his team to get at it again. He really believes that he can get a win in this match.
Chesterfield 0, Grimsby 2 in the Cup. Harry Clifton, that was probably the worst pass of the afternoon from Sissoko. Just got his bearings completely wrong and slammed it straight out of play, trying to curve one down the line, and he missed by about 5 yards, just got the angle wrong. Here's Eriksson as Spurs turn possession over again. Ben Davis making his way down the left-hand touchline. He's played it back through the midfield. Here's Sissoko again. This time he's had it taken off his toes by Aubameyang, and it's Arsenal on the front foot with Torreira back for Xhaka. Both sides reckoning that they can turn 1 point into 3 here with 25 minutes to go. Ali will pick up a yellow card for the challenge as Xhaka just tried to nudge the ball past him, and Ali stuck out a right foot and tripped him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sissoko's just had a bad spell in the last few minutes, isn't he? You said about trying to play the ball down this right channel, played it out straight out to play there, took too long in possession of the ball, got caught. Just wonder what stage Pochettino might start looking to his own bench. Just look at Lucas Moura warming up at the moment. That's an obvious change that he could make, and maybe a positive one as well.
So Lucas Moura on the bench along with Llorente, Rose, Alderweireld, Winks and Walker-Peters. The Arsenal bench, remember, they've made a double change already. They've still got El Neni, Lichtsteiner, Maitland-Niles and Guendouzi as men that they can bring into the fray, as well as the substitute goalkeepers for either side, of course, as well. 24 to go, 2-2. Ball is on the left-hand side of the Arsenal midfield. Played for by Holding. Challenge from Foyt deemed a foul, and then Sissoko has tried to disrupt the flow of the game by stopping them, taking the free kick quickly for the foul, and now Aubameyang, he succeeded as well. It will be a free kick which Arsenal will take on halfway.
See, I'd give a yellow card for that for Foyt, because that's a challenge from behind. There was no attempt to play the ball. He came through the back of Aubameyang, who was just struggling to get forward now. They're the sort of challenges you want to eradicate from the game. Foyt's just apologising to Aubameyang. It's too late. More
live football for you on the TalkSport network tomorrow. The Hawthorns, West Brom against Brentford. Dean Ashton alongside me for that on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night as Lacazette brings it forward for Arsenal, checking on the right-hand side of the box, delivering a ball in towards the near post, and it's a really good covering header from Foyt, steered it over his own bar for what would have been a corner had he not been pushed by Aubameyang. It is a free kick as a result of that push from the Gabonese international, and a free kick which will be taken by Spurs inside their 6-yard box. Also coming up Tuesday and Wednesday, Premier League kick-off around the grounds from 7. You're down at Brighton against Palace, which will be another derby to savour, it has to be said. A fair bit of enmity between those two as well. And that's on Tuesday night. All the Premier League goals as they go in throughout the course of the week here on TalkSport. It's finished at Ashton Gate. Bristol City 1, Millwall 1, incidentally, in the game in the Championship. This one 2-2. Spurs winning possession back. Right-footed shot beaten away well by Bernd Leno. It was Son seizing upon the gift from the Arsenal back line. A right-footed effort. Leno dived to his right, beat it away, got it away from Ali on the follow-up as well.
I bet you didn't just put his hand up, apologise. Square ball straight to Son in the middle of the goal, and he's just trying to nestle into the far corner. The goalkeeper there, Leno, got across smartly to his right hand side to make the save, and as Mustafi I think is trying to clear it. I think there's an injury to one of the Arsenal players are down at the moment, and bear in mind they have made 2 substitutions, right, and bold ones as well, Jim. You know, that's one of the things that you do if you bring people on at half time. You're only left with one player to bring on for the rest of the 45 minutes if you pick up any injuries.
Well, it's Mustafi who is down injured. So in terms of defensive replacements, Lichtsteiner could be introduced there. El Neni has played at centre-half. They can change the shape, of course, as well. 21 to go plus stoppage time. Talking of games coming up, incidentally, I just mentioned this while the treatment is being administered. Arsenal's next home game against Huddersfield next Saturday kicks off at 3, and it's live on TalkSport 2. John Motson and Alvin Martin talking you through the action next Saturday here on 2. But it does look as though Arsenal's final change is imminent. Guendouzi just getting some instructions from the Arsenal coaching staff as he has a swig of water. Mustafi is being spoken to by Mike Dean as he gets back to his feet, I think, just to make sure he's okay rather than anything else. But still, this is quite a long, drawn-out process. Here are the latest odds from Betfair Sunday Exclusive's official betting partner. Arsenal 21-10, Spurs 12-5, draws the favourite 6-5. And the correct score market, if you see it ending 2-2, which it is at the moment, that's 2-1. For an Arsenal 3-2 win, that's 100-30. You think it'll finish 3-2 to Spurs, that's 4-1. Full terms at betfair.com, 18 plus, gamble aware. Well, he's had his treatment. He's being led over to the far side and will be allowed to come back on in a moment. As Arsenal temporarily down to 10 as Spurs restart play. Throw taken short for Kane. Kane to Eriksen. Eriksen trying to ride a challenge, can't do so. Sokratis puts his foot through it, just gets it out of harm's way. That allows Mustafi permission to come back onto the field, and Dyer will pick it up at the back for Tottenham. A long diagonal for him, and just too close to goalkeeper Bernd Leno as Aurier made good ground up the right hand side of the penalty area, but Leno came out and caught it.
Yeah, good goalkeeper, wasn't he? Read the situation well. I'm just looking around at the Tottenham players, the big players. I've not seen enough of Ali in this second half. Son, who was, I thought, their best player in the first half. He was the driving force that got them back into the game. Harry Kane has been on the periphery, if you like. You're going to need to see more from the big players in the remaining 20 minutes or so we've got in this game.
Very few goals in the FA Cup today. The big shock at the moment, Woking leading at Swindon by a goal nil, although Southport have just levelled at Prenton Park against Tranmere, against the side 2 divisions above them. Bradley Barres, the hero there, and Arsenal will make that final change in Abrahams.
Yeah, it is Mustafi who's coming off Guendouzi to come on to that. Would make, well, it means they're going to go forward at the back, isn't it? And there were long discussions between Unai Emery and Rob Holding during the break in play when Mustafi got treatment, so obviously the message has been passed on.
Yeah, just looking at that, I mean, would you be sure about Kolasinac in the left back position on his own? It was interesting when he was making the change here. Unai Emery had his arm around Kolasinac, so I think he's just giving him some instructions and his positional playing where he should be.
Certainly looks much more comfortable when he's playing on the left-hand side of the 5, effectively, or playing as a left wing-back rather than an orthodox left-back in a 4. Spurs will wonder if they can exploit that situation. Arsenal have made all their changes then. Arsenal are on the front foot, on the edge of the penalty area with Lacazette. Now Aubameyang waiting in the middle. Bellerin will try and deliver. Sissoko is down there with him. Bellerin has pulled it back. Right-footed ball comes inside the box, but is cleared by Vertonghen, and then helped further clear after the Belgians' header before Kane, who's a relatively quiet day. Looks as though he's manhandled there by Socrates. And then Sissoko gets involved, trying to get the ball away from Xhaka, who's doing everything he could to stop the free kick being taken quickly. Eriksson, an oasis of calm in the desert of that midfield battle, just put his hand on the ball and took the free kick quickly. Spurs clearly feeling as though they can win this. 18 minutes ago, both sides should feel that they can win it, because both have had decent spells on top in the game. Tottenham worked the ball forward, headed away on the edge of the D, out towards Aurier. Faced up by Guendouzi, and the Towsell head. Arsenal substitute won the ball back and then was pushed to the ground by his opponent. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken on the left-hand side of the Arsenal back line. 2-2.
Just looking at Tottenham at the moment, Jim, they've just changed their shape. I'm looking at Eric Dyer. He looks like he's going in to make a third centre-half. They're going to play with a back five, if you want. And that's obviously the concern is Lacazette and Aubameyang as a pair, and also Aaron Ramsey in the runs that he's been making from midfield. So it looks like the midfield two of Sissoko and Christian Eriksen.
Yes, 5-2-3 really at the moment, isn't it? Certainly when they haven't got possession. Kane, Ali and Son, the forward three for Tottenham, all doing their best to instigate a unified forward press, but Arsenal play round it and work it for Torreira. Out towards Ramsey, then Bellerin rolls it down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Lacazette will chase and win a corner as he delivers an instant ball in from that right-hand touchline. He does his bit to act as a cheerleader for the Arsenal fans behind the goal as well.
Predominantly he's been playing over on that right-hand side, not wide right, but in an inside right channel. He's trying to get himself up against Vertonghen whenever possible, and he's got the pace to get beyond him. He's proved it on 2 or 3 occasions since he's came on at the start of the second half, and once again he's just trying to fire the ball across the 6-yard box. Tottenham are giving away another corner kick.
It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery from Xhaka, really deep towards the far post. Holding again was the target. It's knocked away, but picked up by Aubameyang, 15 yards outside the penalty area. Torreira even deeper. He's played it back to him. And now back for the deepest of the outfield players. Guendouzi fizzes it in towards the edge of the box. Aurier's defensive header. Eriksen plays it forward. Out comes Leno. Took his chances there, but volleyed it clear. It goes down as an excellent piece of goalkeeping. Sissoko steaming through the middle onto the through ball. Leno judged it to perfection, and then Foyt did anything but. And Ramsey's picked his pocket and played in Lacazette on the edge of the penalty area. Lacazette with a left-footed effort is in off the post. An epic error from 1 Foyt, and Alex Lacazette means the derby has turned on its head again. Arsenal a goal up, 2-1 down, now lead by 3 goals to 2. This extraordinary, epic encounter now swathed in red and white again as 1 Foyt has a moment to forget.
I'm going to say, Jim, sometimes you just got to sit back and applaud. When you see finishing of this calibre, of this standard, out of nothing really. The ball from Aaron Ramsey was brilliant, but Lacazette's still got an awful lot to do. He's on his right side, he's 1v1 against Vertonghen, he shifts on his left foot, hits it. I thought he was going to go wide of the target. Lloris looked like he struggled to get across to the far post, hit the post and into the back of the net. How many times is this game going to turn on its head? Certainly did in the first half, when Tottenham from 1-0 down got themselves 2-1 up, and Arsenal have done exactly the same in this second half. Can Tottenham get back into it? I'm not so sure.
Well, I've seen the replay. He took a deflection off Eric Dyer, and that has made all the difference. It was a shot on target, but Lloris would have saved it had it not been, I'm sure, for the little touch on its way through. And Arsenal will argue that with the manner of the penalty that Spurs were awarded, that they deserve that little bit of luck. But they lead 3-2 with 15 minutes to go.
That's a bit of good fortune you need. Just seen it on the replay, and on real time it just looked like Nessa's in the bottom corner. It's all Arsenal at the moment, and the substitutes have had a massive impact in this game, particularly Ramsey and Lacazette.
Aubameyang, right-hand side of the penalty area, as Dyer gets on the end of the cross. Wasn't sure where it was going to go. It ended up coming off the top of his boot and going out of play for a throw.
I mean, that's the question, Pochettino and the change that he made in the system that he's employed with putting Eric Dyer back there. I mean, he was the one involved when he came out and didn't really get a good block on when Lacazette took the shot on. And you felt for Lloris in the end. He was scrambling across his goal. I thought he was struggling to get there. I was wondering why, and it's only when you've seen the replay and the deflection it took off Dyer into the bottom corner there, off the post. But all of a sudden, look at the noise. To hear the noise in this stadium is absolutely incredible.
And Arsenal fans stand with their red and white scarves above their heads in a show of solidarity. Guendouzi, remember, they go above Tottenham if it stays this way, and extend the unbeaten streak to 19 in all competitions. Aubameyang, Torreira is in, right inside of the area. Lacazette wanted the pullback, Torreira ignored him and did the job himself, and it's 4-2, and they've scored twice in a 3-minute spell to mirror what Tottenham did in the first half. Lucas Torreira, who's made such an impression since signing for Arsenal, has just produced another moment of real quality. And Arsenal fans who've been in the depth of despair this afternoon are now absolutely euphoric. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2.
Well, Lucas Torreira, welcome to the North London derby. You're going to get a booking for taking off your shirt in celebration of that goal, but huge mistake from Tottenham, but he capitalised on it with a fantastic finish. He could have passed it to one of his teammates, Lacazette. They took on the responsibility. Good movement off the ball, got in behind Vertonghen. He's at 6 yards out on the angle, and he just smashed it past Hugo Lloris into the far corner. And all of a sudden, it's comfortable now for Arsenal. 4-2 up, and it just looks like it's going to be 3 points. And another game that Unai Emery hasn't lost in 2 at the start of the season. 19 now, Jim, isn't it? After that, absolutely amazing.
Just listen to the roar of the Arsenal fans. This situation seemed inconceivable 25 minutes or so ago when they trailed by 2 goals to 1. Now Arsenal lead it 4-2. Guendouzi, strong challenge from Aurier, whacked away high up in the air by Xhaka and chased towards the edge of the area by Aubameyang. Dyer's nodded it away from him and now will clear it, right-footed down the touchline. Guendouzi going up for it with Aurier, out of play, and a double substitution for Tottenham.
Yeah, Harry Winks, who was brilliant at Wembley, is coming on. So too Lucas Moura. Moura is on for Son, who gets booed after going down very easily for the penalty. Harry Winks, he will come on and replace Dele Alli, who's been pretty ineffectual in the second half. Spurs, though, not much time, Jim, to come back into this.
Yeah, well, needs must at the moment. I mean, can the substitutes have an impact like the ones they've had for Arsenal? Lacazette and Ramsey, I thought, were absolutely terrific. Oh, wow. We're just having a little word there with Mark Saggers and Abbey's Army, as we talked about. He's got the bet up. Charity, I think, will be £400, £500 richer after that. Brilliant news.
4-2 to Arsenal. Guendouzi playing the ball forward. Lacazette will take it down towards the corner flag and was just given a shove there by Vertonghen. Now he's got to be careful because he got a yellow card for the handball for the penalty in the first half. No further sanction against him now. You're listening to Arsenal against Spurs on TalkSport with Just Eat, football, food, living the dream.
Well, living the dream is Aubameyang if he can get the next goal in this game. I think it was Ian saying, was it 1974, was it? The last time an Arsenal player got a hat-trick? 78, was it? 78. I'm sure he said 74 because I was thinking I was only 12 at the time. Was it 16? Oh, I might have been involved in football.
Xhaka's going to take it. Left arm above his head. Free kick from down by the dead ball out. Hit Eriksen's punch clear by Lloris. Chested down by Bellerin. Right footed shot was going wide. It's cleared. Socrates blazes that one high over the bar. And Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2.
And then to his right hand side, who did he have? Aaron Ramsey, arms outstretched, saying pass to me. Everyone wants to get in on the act at the moment. If you're an Arsenal player, you want to be part of this magical game, and it has been a magical game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, Tottenham gave a good account of themselves, particularly in the first half, well, the second part of the first half. For 20 minutes they were excellent, but Arsenal, with the substitutions that they made at half time, have been the dominant force in the second half.
Dyer for Foyt. He just took his eye off the ball, literally and figuratively, presenting the opportunity for the third goal, the Lacazette goal, which got Arsenal back ahead. It'll be a moment he won't forget in a hurry. I'll have a sleepless night tonight about that. Spurs on the front foot here. Davis winning a corner. It's Tottenham's first for a while as he made his way down the left-hand touchline. And he goes out of play for a corner. Corner which is going to be taken by Christian Eriksen. No, Eriksen's going to leave it and makes his way into the middle, delegating responsibility to Ben Davis. 6 Spurs players stand inside the penalty area. Can they throw themselves a lifeline? Lucas Moura with the header, and he's plopped it wide from almost the edge of the box.
He didn't believe in himself there, Jim, did he? You know, it was like a token gesture in the end, wasn't it? He didn't really have any confidence, didn't head it anywhere near the target. We went 5 yards wide.
Well, Tottenham have got one change left at their disposal, and Ian Abrahams, here it comes.
Yeah, it's Ben Davis coming off, and it's Danny Rose coming on. That says everything about Llorente, doesn't it, really? In the North London derby, where you need goals, you bring on the left back rather than Llorente.
Well, Danny Rose will argue that he has lit up a North London derby with a stunner in the past. Well, the first North London derby he ever played. And Torreira, whilst his goal isn't up there with Dele Alli's, with Danny Rose's from that North London derby a good few years ago now, has done likewise today, scoring in his first match between these two sides, and seemingly made the point safe for Arsenal with 7.5 minutes to go here on TalkSport, and Arsenal leading 4-2.
Having scored in my first ever derby, Liverpool against Everton in the FA, it was actually in the FA Cup when I scored a header and we won the game 1-0. Let me tell you, Jim, it's something you never forget. It lives with you forever.
Aubameyang with a backheel nutmeg on Foyt. He didn't quite pull it off by maintaining possession, having turned away from the Argentinian. And Arsenal whack it forward upfield. Spurs, I beg your pardon, looking for Kane, and Rob Holding returns it, and feeling now that Arsenal are pretty comfortable here.
Right, at half-time, when you're sitting here and you've seen the scoreline, did you see Arsenal getting back in the manner that they did?
Absolutely not.
100%. 100%. No, I could see them get back, but not being 4-2. I still thought there was more to offer. I think Unai Emery would have got stuck into them at half-time, told them no in certain terms what was required. Very bold with substitutions. You said he's done that before, so he's got a history of doing it, changing things, getting the best out of his players, and the players that have come on, particularly Lacazette and Ramsey, have really responded.
Talking of Torreira a few moments ago, he was actually the 4th Arsenal player to score his first ever Premier League goal for the club in a match against Spurs. I'll let you contemplate who the other 3 might be as Eriksen makes his way forward. Socrates with the challenge. Holding has done well to just keep his wits about him and keep it in. Socrates turned and showed the guns to the crowd. It means so much to all of these players, and it's the Arsenal men who will be celebrating in around 10 minutes' time. Vertonghen sliding in, gets the ball out towards Rose. Vertonghen fouled, and it's going to be a yellow card for Ramsey.
Nice touch for Vertonghen, he's off. That's his second yellow. With Vertonghen with a challenge on Lacazette, I think, Jim. Just with the follow through, certainly caught him. The referee just took his time to assess the situation, and he's produced the second yellow card. Vertonghen's complaining, and I think he's got justification, because I thought he actually played the ball first. We'll see it again on the replay, but Harry Kane and Vertonghen are there. The referee, Mike Dean, is just trying to evaluate the situation, but as Vertonghen tries to play it, I thought he got to the ball first. He played it out wide, and it's his follow through, it's caught Lacazette.
Jan Vertonghen sliding in, and having played the ball, the studs of his left boot have certainly gone right down the ankle of Alex Lacazette, and Spurs 2 goals down, now find themselves a man down as well. Vertonghen leaving the field, and any chance that there was of a Spurs fight back has surely dissipated once and for all as Jan Vertonghen is dismissed.
What do you think of that, Jim, as a second yellow? I mean, he's won the ball, he's played it. I don't think there's any intent to hurt Lacazette, and it's just unfortunate because you've got to go in to play the ball, and then his foot's just followed through and caught the player. I think in years gone by that would have been a nothing decision, but in modern football you have to be so careful, because it is the fact that your studs are shown, and with them being on a yellow, as you quite rightly pointed out in the first half from that handball, it's a fine line that you walk.
Well, Scott Parker and Emmanuel Eboué have both been sent off in North London derbies by Mike Dean in the past, and now Vertonghen is dismissed as well, trudged off in despair. An Arsenal free kick. I mentioned earlier the 5-2 Arsenal Spurs win Well, Arsenal win over Spurs a few years ago. I fancy their chances of being able to replicate that with 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining against 10 men. As Socrates plays the ball forward through the midfield, and Xhaka has been able to lay it all the way back for his goalkeeper, and it'll be cleared left-footed by Bernd Leno inside the penalty area. Aubameyang coming to meet it. It was nodded on. Kolasinac can just drag the ball back down towards Guendouzi. One back though by Lucas Moura, and Sissoko plays it forward. Winks out to the left-hand side for Rose, and Danny Rose brings it forward here for Tottenham. Rose towards the edge of the penalty area. Eriksson left-footed, clips it inside the box, easily headed away by Rob Holding. No Spurs player there to attack it. Back it comes down the left-hand side again for Rose. Rose turning it round the corner, knocked away. Mopped up though by Dyer out of the left-hand touchline for Spurs, making again valiant effort to try and get themselves back into the game with time very much against them, and the odds stacked against them too now after the dismissal. Xhaka looking for a free kick. Winks judged to have lent into him. It's a soft one, and Winks is making that very point as he leans over Xhaka, which some of the Arsenal players have taken exception to, and he's pulled away then by Kane, who's getting involved just as peacemaker. Socrates in there as well. Sissoko putting his 2 cents worth in, and again a feisty element to the game, not too far beneath the surface.
Well, I think there Winks felt that that Xhaka just went over very easily. There was no real contact, hence the reason why he went up to him and told him in no uncertain terms, and then Bellerin got involved, and then Christian Eriksen was over there as well, just having a word with the referee and with Xhaka. I've got you listen to you a little bit more when it comes to your predictions, because you said there'd be more goals and 2 a red card.
Neither of those.
Now and again you get it right.
Neither of those predictions particularly constitute brain surgery, right? When it comes down to the way that the game was set up. 4-2, 2 minutes to go, and the Arsenal fans jubilant. The Spurs end is a little bit more sparsely populated than it was 10 minutes ago. Lacazette heads the ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. And Sissoko facing his own goal, lays it out towards the left-hand side for Danny Rose. Rose with the ball forward, and it bounces once and then twice, and then Rob Holding, as it bounces a third time, turns it away from Kane, who's just lent into Holding. Ball worked back for the goalkeeper. Leno clears it, and it goes out of play via a deflection for a throw, which will be taken on the Arsenal left-hand side. Arsenal leading by 4-2. 90 seconds plus stoppage time to go. I know there's a few astute judges out there who were saying today there could be 3 home wins in the derby matches. Chelsea have already won. Arsenal look like they're about to do that here. And can Liverpool get that important win against Everton later on as well? Kolasinac to Guendouzi. Guendouzi out towards Torreira now to Bellerin, right-footed ball swept forward. Lacazette will chase it. Reece came out. It's good goalkeeping because he made sure that he didn't get done by the length of the ball, which came into him at Yorker length, and he had to take it as it bounced, but he dealt with it comfortably enough. 30 seconds plus stoppage time to go. Will we get a frantic finale? That's to happen. Spurs need to score probably from this move. Aurier playing it forward. Sliding challenge comes in. Aurier has caught his man. That's a free kick. That's going to be another yellow card. Serge Aurier's first of the season and the 5th shown to a Tottenham player today. You know what you were telling us our stats earlier, and you said about Arsene Wenger, 1996 was it? Was it his first derby when he took over? 6 minutes of stoppage time incidentally. Yeah, he took over in 96. The last one he was a referee. The last one he didn't referee was a draw under Bruce Rioch, which was at Highbury in April 96. All right. I just wondered, Unai Emery's first, North London derby, looks like he's going to come out on top. I mean, that's what you want, the bragging rights, that belief, that determination, that knowledge that your players can do it under pressure. Here's Ramsey. Has he won another corner? Yes, he has. Corner which will be taken over on the Arsenal right. They'll be in no great hurry to take it as the first of the 6 additional minutes draws towards its conclusion. You and I have done many games here over the last few seasons. I've not seen an Arsenal stadium for a long time with so many fans still in it, for one, even when the team's been winning, but the joy and the happiness, and that's what Unai Emery's done to this side. He's brought back the love and the joy of watching this Arsenal team play. Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0, incidentally, in the Scottish League Cup final. Ryan Christie in stoppage time at the end of the first half there. And Woking have won at Swindon in the FA Cup. That's the big shot. Corner taken short over on the Arsenal right-hand side. 15 outside the penalty area as they work it all the way back for Torreira. It's just an exercise in keep ball now for the Gunners. Guendouzi enjoying his first North London derby, and he will have enjoyed it as well in his brief cameo role as a substitute. The Olays are out. Ball turned round the corner on the Arsenal right. Devastating in the second half again. 3 goals without reply since half-time. Torreira back for Guendouzi. Torreira back inside his own half for Rob Holding. You can tell when every pass is successfully completed. Leno out from the back to Xhaka, back to the goalkeeper again, chipped forward. Aubameyang will be able to pick it up. Took a little brush off the head of Winks, and now Arsenal will work it out towards the right-hand side with Ramsey. Ramsey's first time ball inside the area, and Hugo Lloris can comfortably claim it, and then he will bolt it out to get Serge Aurier going again. Spurs' run of 6 straight wins about to come to an end. Their run of success in London derbies about to come to an end. Their fantastic run away from home about to be punctured. They have been beaten at Watford this season in the league on the road, but have won all the others. But what a galvanising effect this will have for Arsenal, as their unbeaten streak will be extended to 19 with a victory over their least loved rivals. Danny Rose with a throw for Spurs over on the left-hand touchline. Back it goes for Moussa Sissoko. Sissoko inside the centre circle finds Lucas Moura. Down now to Aurier. Aurier getting the better of Kolasinac and then able to make his way forward. And still he goes down towards the right-hand side for Lucas Moura. Moura checking back. Couldn't get the ball inside the air, and Kolasinac has defended it well. Certainly up to a point. And then Aurier is beaten to it by Holding, who's done okay, particularly in the second half. Sliding challenge from Ramsey. Might be the last North London derby he ever plays in here, of course. Lacazette works it out towards Guendouzi. Guendouzi down the right-hand touchline, licks to Bellerin, who's continued his run forward here. And across comes Danny Rose, and Spurs are able to work it away forward towards Harry Kane. Harry Kane chasing after it, and Sokratis showed great desire to get back and work it all the way back to his goalkeeper, and Bernd Leno, having dispensed with the ball, applauds the veteran Greek centre-half, who looks as though he might be blown a little bit now.
But he had the pace to get away from Harry Kane there,
he's done his bit.
Yeah. He had the pace to get away from Harry Kane. I've got to say, some of the Tottenham big players in the second half haven't really performed to the level that they've shown recently. Jim, you said 6 wins in a row. Fantastic. Just wonder how much the midweek game against Inter Milan took out the legs today. They didn't start the game very well. They finished the first half extremely well, 2-1 advantage. But in fairness, Arsenal have been the better side in the second half, no question.
Well, Spurs have only conceded 11 Premier League goals in 13 games coming into this one, but have let in 3 in a 21-minute spell in this second half, and 4 all told. And 90 seconds of stoppage time to go. Kolasinac over on the left-hand side. Both sides just go through the motions in the last exchanges. The destiny of the points absolutely secured when Vertonghen was sent off. But Arsenal already 2 goals up by that stage. Bernd Leno has the ball at the back. Will just act as ball boy for a moment. He side foots it forward. It's gone out of play for an Arsenal throw, which they will take near halfway. Arsenal fans making their ways out. Some of them just embracing each other as they leave the vicinity. The job done. There was great concern amongst some of the Arsenal fans coming into this with the form that Spurs had shown. Some of their excellent recent results. Arsenal's second half performance has been outstanding. And Guendouzi epitomises up the sliding challenge there. Trying to get possession back. Xhaka works it forward. Knocked away by Aurier. Referee again takes evasive action. And Spurs can bring it forward through the midfield with Sissoko. Out towards the left-hand touchline for Harry Kane, who scored his North London derby goal, as he always seems to do, but won't be on the winning side today. Bellerin stops his progress, and it's cleared out of play for a throw.
Yeah, they just look like they can't break them down at the moment. Arsenal, look at the numbers they got behind the ball there. Even when they attacked, Jim, they had 4 players onto 2, and it was just a final ball from Xhaka. It wasn't quite good enough, and there was a real overload as far as Arsenal's concerned.
Spurs bring it forward. Chance for a third, potentially with Eriksson. Left-footed shot from him is well blocked by Socrates. And that will be that. Massive roar around the Emirates as the full-time whistle sounds. An absorbing North London derby. An outstanding second-half display from Arsenal, who trailed 2-1 at the break, having been a goal up and then 2-1 down after a controversial penalty dispatched by Harry Kane after Son went down inside the penalty area. But the fight back in the second half was breathtaking. Aubameyang, Lacazette and Torreira all scoring. Arsenal extend their unbeaten streak to 19 in all competitions, end Tottenham's winning run, and they're back above Spurs in the table. Champions League positions are never decided in isolated 90-minute matches before Christmas, of course. But this is a little marker from the red and white side of North London that the picture perhaps isn't as polarised as some thought. What a game. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2.